Hi everyone, and welcome to Incoming Global Talent, the first induction package here. So I'm going to be running through what Incoming Global Talent is, what portfolio you're in, and the functions here. So moving on, introduction to incoming exchange, or you may hear about it as Global Talent, which I'll explain a little bit more later. Just a little bit of a rundown of the objectives of this session here, the things that you'll be learning and understanding from it, and also the expectation that with this induction session here, you won't understand or learn everything about ICX or incoming global talent, but you will get the brief understanding, and then there will be other sessions and other materials that will be complemented with this for your understanding. So the first one is just what is ICX in general, then what is global talent, the function within ICX, so how does ICX or global talent actually fit in with the entire organization itself, some of your roles and responsibilities, a little bit debrief of some of the acronyms you may hear or might get confused about, and also what you can actually learn from ICX. So these are the main objectives here. So the first question is, what is incoming exchange and global talent? Especially when you just joined ISEC or joined ITX or IGT itself, it's quite confusing at the very start. So a brief understanding of it or way to explain it is B2B. What that means is business to business. So what a B2B is that the products and services of the business are actually marketed to other businesses. So as an example, such as advertising agencies, web hosting and graphic design services, office furniture, manufacturers and landlords who lease office and retail space. As an example, where an advertising agency would actually create marketing materials or advertisements for businesses to actually then advertise to their consumers. So what we do in ICX or Global Talent is not a business to consumers, the everyday average person like yourself and I, but actually to business itself. So we actually provide services to business. So in the ISEC context, the function that we do is incoming exchange, or so-called global talent, is that ISEC provides a service to other businesses, offering them an opportunity to hire international talent for their business strategy and growth. So we are actually B2B within ISEC itself. What is global talent? So a global talent is our external brand name for the service that we offer. It has its own branding, and then we can use it across all our materials. Internally in ISEC, you will hear it being called IGT or ICX, but when we actually go to companies and talk to them, we regard it as global talent. A little bit more about global talent, and sometimes you also hear it as an acronym called GT. So it is our external brand name, and this is what we actually talk to companies about, and this is our global talent branding and logo, which you'll see in a lot of documents. So for example, our proposal here, which you'll get a document of this later, we use this logo here so that our customers understand what product we are using or what services we are providing there. So just the logo there so you can remember, and also understand that when we talk about GT or IGT, it's talking about the product itself. So what does global talent actually mean, and what does it actually do for, so on the ISEC context, like what is it about? So on ISEC is that we create opportunities for youth to develop their leadership through an international and challenging opportunity that creates real impact. That's how we involve in global talent. And for the company side, ISEC assists companies in accessing global talent, or recently international graduates or experienced young international talent, like a lateral hire. So this is how we actually work together, and both of the organizations or entities, both ISEC and the company working together to create global talent, is that to collaborate to develop responsible global young leaders who understand more about the world themselves and want to make a change. So this is what global talent is about, and it takes both ISEC and a company to be able to make it happen. A little bit more about what incoming global talent is. You'll hear some of these words being thrown around a little bit. So when I talk about IGT, it's talking about incoming global talent. Why do we use incoming? It's because incoming is when we create opportunities for incoming talent. For example, international young people to actually come to Australia to actually do a global talent opportunity. And we also have another program called Outgoing Global Talent. Externally, to our customers, we say global talent. However, internally, we differentiate it by this is incoming global talent and that's outgoing global talent, where we send youths in Australia for outgoing global talent opportunities. So the function that you and I work in is IGT, which is incoming global talent, and we work with businesses being a B2B. A little very brief breakdown of what the program will kind of look like, so the service. Again, this will be in a lot of documentation, which you can understand more about the nitty gritty details. But in a brief, the programs are usually from 3 months to 12 months, no longer than 12 months and no shorter than 3 months. That's when the global talent individual actually comes over here and actually work. The location of the opportunity that we open with companies, usually anywhere in Australia, because we have a lot of different local committees all around Australia, and so we're able to deliver that. The salary paid to the global talent individual is actually paid by the company for the Australian minimum salary by $36,000 per annum. And what the company actually pays is an administrative fee. Company will pay that to AIESEC for the service that we provide for them in terms of finding talent, giving them access, helping the global talent individual to actually come to Australia and all those things. And that's why we are a B2B. We sell our services of this to companies. A little bit more about it is that where the candidate's origin, they're usually anywhere around the world, depending on where the talent or the country they come from. Visa is required, of which we do also sponsor. The candidates are usually from 18 to 30 years old. The candidate general qualification for this service in particular are recent graduates or experienced talent, which you can also call them as lateral hire. What does lateral hire actually means is that they were hired from the side, meaning someone at the same experience and experience in the job. For example, if I was working as a marketing analyst as one company and I jump to another company and work as a marketing analyst, I'm actually having a lateral hire. So we may find candidates that are like this who have experience already, or perhaps recent graduates who haven't had much work experience before. So incoming global talent, talking to you through more about how the process actually happens, is that after the process of us actually finding the right company to collaborate in creating a leadership developing opportunity with, so we create an opportunity, sign a contract, and understand what the requirements are, and actually find out who the person that we want. The company will actually write a job description of the talent they are looking for, and AIESEC will actually post this on our global portal, which is called XPA. So you can look at this at the acronyms later. So what we have is an internal AIESEC portal, and of which youth around the world as well gets to log onto it and find all these opportunities around the world that they'd like to apply for, that they do meet the requirements of their skills or somewhere they actually want to actually work in. And so that's what the company will do, and that's what the AIESEC side will do. Then after that, once we post it on there and people apply around the world, what we do next is AIESEC. So you and I will actually screen and shortlist these candidates and contact the best candidates, and the companies will have the final interview with them. So this is where AIESEC service come in, actually service the company, where we actually provide them all the best candidates internationally, and also screen them, a pre-screening, and then the company actually gets to interview them at the very end to actually choose the candidate that would suit the job description they've written. The third one is logistics. So after the selection and we're happy with the person that we want, AIESEC will handle all the processing of the visa and logistics for the global talent individual to come to Australia. We'll help them apply for their visa, help them understand what the circumstances are, help also them understand like what Australia would be like, what the cultural differences, everything preparing them to actually come to Australia to actually work. So this is something we deal with, and the company does not need to be involved. Again, this is the service we provide to the company and the candidate themselves. And then the fourth one is global talent reception. So AIESEC again will handle all logistics such as airport pickup, accommodation assistance, and be there on the first day of their work. So these are some of the services we actually provide again to the company and to the global talent individual to actually help them come there. And once they're ready, they step in and they're ready to go work. In addition to that, throughout the duration, we will also be delivering leadership sessions to the global talent individual for them to understand what leadership is about and how their experience is actually helping them become a better global leader. So this is again for something that you and I as AIESEC will be actually handling. So that is the brief process of how this actually works. A little bit more about IGT within AIESEC overall, as IGT is a portion of it. So IGT within all of AIESEC, I explained a little bit before about the incoming global talent and outgoing global talent. So the function that we work in is called Incoming Global Talent, which is where we create opportunities for international youth to come to Australia to learn, develop, and make a difference. And on the other side is that Outgoing Global Talent, where youth applying for international global talent opportunities to apply their skills, knowledge, and develop their leadership potential. So we work in IGT, whereas where we work with the AIESEC International different countries and entities where the candidates will apply from, they are providing a service of Outgoing Global Talent. So we both need both to actually make it happen. One, we actually need to create the opportunities and actually have the youth overseas to actually apply. So we work a lot with international AIESEC headquarters over there. And then at the same time, we need both. If we don't create opportunities, people can't apply. And if we create opportunities and people don't apply, it doesn't work. So in terms of the grand scheme of AIESEC in general for global talent, this is how IGT, or this is how we fit into the picture. So it's very important as to the why we actually create opportunities and go out there and talk to businesses, because there's a lot of youths out there that are actually looking for an opportunity to develop themselves and make a difference. And at the same time, a lot of companies are looking for youth and young talent to actually be able to make a difference within their organization and learn as well. Now, going through just a little bit about your roles and responsibilities. So in IGT, the roles and responsibility, what we do is to create that opportunity and deliver that opportunity at the end of the day. So a couple of things is, the first thing is we finding companies. So we actually need to do finding companies who will benefit and have the ability of to support a global talent. And ability and like the bracket in values, what that means is a company that actually aligns to AIESEC value, that wouldn't exploit the employee or exploit the global talent individual, and really cares of actually making a difference with AIESEC in collaboration. The second one is meeting and selling to the companies. So it's like setting up meetings with companies to talk to them about global talent, why leadership is important, why it will be beneficial for the company to have a global talent. This is where the negotiation and the meeting and the selling of this global talent opportunity comes along. And it's not always easy to do. It's always those meetings with those companies and seeing where the gaps are in their own company or their work, that actually having a global talent would actually really benefit their organization. The third one is account relationship management. Obviously, after signing the contract and understanding that we want to go ahead with this to collaborate with the company, we are able to and responsible to manage the relationship, the contracting, the invoicing, and communication, and working with the national team in AIESEC to actually do this. So be able to continuously update the company of what the process is, continue to having a relationship with them, because they are our customer in a sense. And that is where a lot of work will be done, and you'll be working with myself on the national team to do this. The fourth one is account delivery. So when the candidate actually comes, or when we find that person, there's a lot of like delivery and servicing that we will be doing, managing the visa, logistics, coordinating of the global talent coming into Australia, and delivering leadership workshops. Again, we'll be working with the national team and AIESEC to deliver these experiences and learn throughout the entire way. So in terms of roles and responsibilities and your deliverables, these are the main and in brief snapshot view of what they look like. Just breaking it down even further, what your week-to-week role would actually look like. So when, obviously, to actually create an opportunity, we need to find those companies, like what I mentioned before. So your week-to-week role, what you envision yourself to do is actually finding companies, researching for companies, looking for them on the internet, going to networking events, and actually like sourcing out what businesses we can actually work with and being our customers. The second one is actually contacting companies, where we're doing emails, follow-up emails, calling them, follow-up calls to set up these meetings. Another objective of your week-to-week role is to really set up meetings in order to actually attend them. So meeting companies, attending the meetings is where the meaty bit of sales and IGT is about, because this is where we actually have the opportunity to actually talk to the company, actually open and negotiate an opportunity. And after many follow-ups and hard work and perseverance, because for sure finding companies, contacting them and meeting them and talking to them about this opportunity, selling this to them isn't always easy. At the same time, it takes a lot of perseverance, negotiation, and understanding our customers before we get to the point of we're signing up our contracts, which is one of the most exciting bits as well. So attending the meeting, and this is where the meaty bit of sales and IGT is all about. Again, it's about signing those contracts from those meetings itself. And so most of the time, we'll actually be working and contacting to get meetings. So this is where the bulk of your time will be at. And this is an everyday grind to get the results. Meeting is where sales actually really happen. So understand your week-to-week role would be around contacting companies. And what you really want to spend most of your time on is actually meeting them, because that's where opportunities actually happen. Going through a little bit about the ICX acronyms. So you heard me use a couple of them before. ICX is Incoming Global Exchange. IGT is Incoming Global Talent. Sometimes you'll hear the global talent individuals or the participants called as EP, and so what that means is exchange participant. So in ISEC internally, we just call them these individuals or these talents coming to Australia as EPs. Sending entity SE is the local committee where the EP is coming to Australia from. For example, if we have a candidate from in Singapore, it will be the sending entity will be ISEC in Singapore. Hosting entity in this case is Australia because we are hosting the EP and we are creating the opportunity itself. Expa, you heard me say talk about that before, and it's an internal portal called Experience ISEC where we can manage the opportunities for EPs, and then this is where we shortlist and actually get to have a look at where and who the EPs are, where the CV. So this is where all the information is at. You'll hear a lot about Podio and HubSpot, and this is just our information management system where we keep contacts and details of the companies, their name, who we contacted, what did we talk about. This is just where we manage our information. IR, it's called International Relations. So pretty much when we have partnerships in relationship with other ISEC entities, for example, if we do have candidates come from Singapore, having a relationship with ISEC in Singapore to understand the process, and so that ISEC in Singapore can help us with the preparation and delivery of their exchange participants' experience from over there. OP taker, so internally we would call our companies OP taker because they're an opportunity taker, the company that is opening up the opportunity to receive a global talent. LCVP IGT, this is the Director of Incoming Global Talent at your local committee level. MCVP ICX, which is a Member Committee Vice President, Director of Incoming Exchange, which on national level is myself that I deal with and work in terms of supporting and ensuring global talent actually happens in Australia. Again, there's a PDF of this later on that you can look into further and also edit yourself. To recap, I guess a couple of learnings from ICX that you can expect and understand from your role and the work that you do. One, for sure, with the entire process of delivering an incoming global talent and talking to a lot of companies and also people, communication and relationship building, you'll definitely learn how to articulate and communicate ideas and products effectively, the negotiation and relationship building with customers through selling global talent. When you go into meetings, talking to companies, understanding of what they need or understanding how we can actually fit this into the picture and negotiate with them in terms of like why having a global talent is important for both impact for our organization, the world, and also have an impact on their company. This is where you'll start to really understand how to actually communicate and build the relationship in terms of what you're trying to advocate for. Second is professional representation. For sure, when you're actually sending professional calls, emails, attending of the meetings to communicate the value of global talent, you develop a lot of different skills or be placed in a different working space where you actually need to be talking to a lot of different professionals of different backgrounds or different levels of experience and ages and whatnot, and you be needed to represent yourself professionally and also represent ISEC because we are working a B2B, being a business to business. Customer servicing and account management. Again, when you're actually finding out what the customers need, being able to cater to what they need and fit their values as well, and also fit our values, and continuous communication with the company and the candidates. For example, when we're looking at the contracts, the invoicing, and when the candidates themselves are coming to Australia, there's a lot of servicing and customers there, and you'll get to learn a lot of organizational and coordination through that. Talent recruitment, one of the most funnest bits is that when we open an opportunity, is the screening and interview candidates for the job description, processing visas, you get to interview them and understand the legal requirements for a global talent individual to come to Australia. So a lot of things that you actually learn from the entire process itself. Recap of the entire session itself, these were the 6 main objectives. Again, a very brief rundown and a snapshot view of what ICX and what your role and what we will be doing and working together. What is ICX? What is global talent? The function of ICX within ICX itself, your roles and responsibility, some of the acronyms, and what you can learn from ICX. For me, that is it, and welcome again to Incoming Global Talent. Very excited to have you on board. And again, if you do have any messages or any questions, feel free to message, and this is my email address.